Through these incredible series of videos, we're talking about discerning God's will. So let's jump right into point number 5 on how do we discern God's will. 1 Corinthians 16 verses 7 through 9 says this, "But I will stay on at Ephesus until Pentecost, because a great door for effective work has opened to me, and there are many who oppose me." So plans have changed, and in verse 7 it says, if the Lord permits. But for Paul, it's not about his own story, it's about God's story. God is writing this powerful story in Paul's life. And though many people oppose him, he's like, no. I know who's the author of life for me. So I'm staying. So here's point number 5. Here's principle number 5 for discerning God's will. God often sovereignly arranges circumstances to divinely point us in the right direction. My challenge then is to not spend time interpreting these divine directions, but to trust the author of life is at work in and around me. Recently, I got the chance to baptize somebody in my friend's pool, and this friend is a new friend of mine and a new believer. And 2 years ago, him and his family, his 2 kids, were full Buddhists, going to the temple, the whole thing. You've got to hear his testimony. I'm not going to butcher it here. But he got excited because we're going to a big church, and he had this opportunity to baptize somebody, and he hasn't been able to because this baptism was delayed. Anyway, I called him up yesterday and was like, "Hey man, can I use your pool?" And I stood in his pool with a fellow believer, baptizing him, anointing him in these waters, calling upon heaven in these waters as this new believer was down leading a ministry camp. So God is weaving this cool testimony and story to continue to encourage my brother. The author of life has written the greatest story nobody could ever conceive in their life. That's Jesus. My challenge to you is to believe and let him guide the punctuation of your life. He is mightily moving.